Hello everyone, my name is Jenny, and thank you for joining me today for At Home with the Lord here on Simi World Radio. We talked about what the rapture is and how we are not going to be the object of God's wrath. I would like to address some common questions about the rapture. I'm going to explain where the word rapture comes from because people will argue that the word rapture is not in the Bible. 1 Thessalonians 4:17 describes how we will be caught up with those who have passed to meet the Lord in the air. The New Testament was written in Greek, and the Greek word for caught up is harpazo. And the definition for this word is to catch away, to pull, to take by force. When the Bible was translated into Latin, they used their word for caught up, and that is the word rapturo. And this is where we get the word rapture. So while the word is not in our English Bible, the meaning is still the same. The rapture has been taught since the church began. It is not a new doctrine, and God has already raptured two people. Genesis 5:24 and Hebrews 11:5. By faith Enoch was taken up, so that he should not see death. And he was not found, because God had taken him. Now before he was taken, he was commended as having pleased God. 2 Kings 2:11. And they went and they talked, and behold, chariots of fire, horses of fire separated the two of them, and Elijah went up in a whirlwind into heaven. Some critics of the pre-tribulation rapture believe that God will rapture us at the second coming. The rapture and the second coming are two different events. The rapture is when we meet the Lord in the air. We go up. The second coming is when Jesus returns to the earth riding on a white horse with the church following him. That's in Revelation 19:11. Jesus comes as a thief in the rapture. A thief does not announce his coming. It catches people off guard. They come to steal something. And Jesus is coming to snatch his bride from an unsuspecting world. 1 Thessalonians 5:1-3. Now concerning the times and seasons, brothers, you have no need to have anything written to you. For you yourselves are fully aware that the day of the Lord will come like a thief in the night. While people are saying there is peace and security, then sudden destruction will come upon them as labor pains upon a pregnant woman, and they will not escape. These verses right before these are talking about the rapture. Then in chapter 5, it starts talking about how the Lord's coming will surprise people, and they're talking about peace and security. Then after this sudden destruction, and they will not escape. This is consistent with a pre-tribulation rapture. There is another verse that is saying life is happy and going on as normal when Jesus comes. Luke 17:26. Just as it was in the days of Noah, so it will be in the days of the Son of Man. They were eating and drinking, marrying and being given in marriage until the day when Noah entered the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all. Likewise, just as it was in the days of Lot, they were eating and drinking, buying and selling, planting and building. But on the day when Lot went out of Sodom, fire and sulfur rained down from heaven and destroyed them all. So it will be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. During the tribulation, approximately 2/3 of the world will die. It will be worse than any other time in history. When Jesus returns, he has to stop the war, or everyone in the world would die. Matthew 24:21-22. For then there shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor shall ever be. Except those days be shortened, there should be no flesh saved. The rapture cannot happen after the tribulation because when the Bible describes this event, life is normal and people are surprised by it. The second coming will not be a surprise for those who know the Word of God. The Bible tells us that the tribulation will last 7 years in Daniel 7:25 and 9:27. The 7 years are divided into two sections. The first half is called the tribulation, and the second half is called the great tribulation. Revelation 11:2-3 mentions the number of days in the first half as 1,260 days. We are also told in Daniel 9:27 and 2 Thessalonians 2:2-3 that at the midpoint of the tribulation, the Antichrist will go into the Jewish temple and claim to be God. Once this occurs, the time frame of 42 months is given in Revelation 13:5. 42 months is 3.5 years. 1,260 days is 3.5 years. The days and years stated are based off the Jewish calendar of 360 days. This gives us a total of 7 years. We will know exactly when Jesus will return from the point the peace agreement with Israel is signed. The rapture and the second coming are two different events. It is not destruction before the rapture, but destruction after. The rapture happens in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, per 1 Corinthians 15:52. The second coming has a lot happening and is not a quick moment event. Jesus is putting an end to a worldwide war and destruction, and he will also take his reign as king. God has a history of pulling out the righteous prior to judgment. Noah and his family were saved from a worldwide judgment of the flood. Lot and his family were pulled out of the city prior to God destroying Sodom and Gomorrah. He never said to them, "I will protect you in the city as I destroy it." No, he physically pulled them out prior to anything happening. Genesis 19:16 and 22 says the angel came and forcibly grabbed Lot and his family, and they could not destroy the city until they were safely out. If God would not rain down his judgment on Sodom and Gomorrah until Lot was safely out, he will not rain down his judgment on earth until we are safely out. We can also see that with Noah. The rain did not start until Noah and his family were safely inside the ark. Revelation 3:10 is addressing a faithful church, and it says, "Because you have kept my word about patient endurance, I will keep you from the hour of trial that is coming on the whole world to try those who dwell on the earth." We cannot be dwelling on the earth if he's keeping us from the trial of those who dwell on the earth. God will once again pull the righteous off the earth before his judgment comes, and I believe that will be very soon.